evaluate the expression for x equals -2, y equals 3, and z equals -4. The expression we're being given is -4x plus 5y plus 6z. When someone asks us to evaluate, they're looking for us to find a single value. Find a single value. Where right now we have multiple values. We've got all these symbols, and -4, a 5, and a +6. We got all these other numbers. So when we combine all these numbers in arithmetic together, we're going to arrive at a single value. That's the goal of evaluate. So the way to get these numbers in for the variables is we systematically rewrite the expression, and when we say the variable name, we write empty parentheses. So -4x, preparing for substitution of the variable with the number that they're asking us to use, plus 5y plus 6z, empty parentheses for each of the values, each of the variables, so that now we're getting ready to substitute the numbers that they wish for us to use. Okay, for x, they're asking us to use a -2. X, wherever we see x, we're going to replace x with a -2. Wherever we see y, we're going to replace it with 3, +3. Wherever we see z in the expression, we're going to replace it with a -4. Now, our charge is to use the order of operations. We're going to simplify with PEMDAS. PEMDAS is the acronym that we use to represent the order of operations agreement. It begins with grouping symbols, then moves on to exponents. Then we evaluate, multiply, and divide as they occur from left to right. It's not always multiply first and divide second. It's multiply and divide as they occur from left to right. Then we move on to add and subtract as they also occur in the expression from left to right. So let's identify all the operations that we have to work with. We have a -4 times -2. We have multiply here. So we're going to circle multiply. We have to deal with multiply as we simplify and evaluate. We have addition. Addition pops up. So we circle addition. These are all the operations that we have to deal with by the time we're done. Multiply has already been identified, circled. Addition has already been identified and circled. And here's another multiply and addition, which have been identified already in our process. We generally work these steps from top to bottom. So the first thing we are obligated to do is multiply. We're going to multiply these two together. We're sitting here on the multiply step. We're going to do all the multiply, get those done before we move on to add. So we're going to multiply all these together. Negative times negative makes positive. 4 times 2 makes 8. When I move on to this multiply, I am going to say, we're going to ignore the plus because that's later. We're going to say 5 times 3 makes 15. We're going to move on and we're going to treat this as a +6. We're not really calling it plus. We're not really adding yet. We're just calling this a +6. Positive times negative makes negative, and 6 times 4 makes 24. And we've completed all the multiply operations at this step. Now, what we have to consider is all of these two plus symbols are still just plus. So at this point, we've accomplished all the multiply operations. Now we slowly go through and we're going to add these numbers from left to right as they occur from left to right. With addition, we treat positive numbers as if we have money. It's a positive thing to have money in this world. So there we have $8 in one pocket. We have $15 in the other pocket. This is the idea of adding two numbers. We treat them like money. Positive 8, positive 15. We have a total of, and I might off to the side, to help myself do, perform addition correctly. 5 plus 8 is 13. Carry a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if I have $8 in one pocket, 15 in the other, I have a total of $23. We copy this guy down and this symbol down because we haven't dealt with them yet. So we have negative 23 plus negative 24. In the kind of the framework that we're using with addition of two numbers, I have $23, but I owe someone 24. Don't I owe more than I have? When we combine these using this gimmick, this convention of money, I owe more than I have. I owe 24, but I only have 23. I'm going to come out owing somebody. I'm going to owe this person something. How do we actually do the math? We find the difference between the negative 24 and the 23, but we give it the sign of, if I owe more, the sign of this is negative. If I owe more than I have. So does that make sense? We come out with -1 at the end, and we've evaluated all the operations that are in this problem through the process of order of operations that we do through PEMDAS, and I come in here to the answer choice area and we identify our answer as -1.